The podcast, which you are about to listen to, is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 3 library staff members, tasked with picking films for each other to view. It is all the more tragic that they were relatively young, but had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished, to listen to as much of the mad and macabre as they were to experience this day. For them, a day at the office became a nightmare. The events of this discussion were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre podcasts in the annals of American history, the Real Opposites Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Toby.
and we are back this week this episode. I always do that. I don't understand
This
why.
week.
But anyways, we are back this episode to discuss my choice from last time, Sick. It was from 2022,
22. Yeah.
written by Kevin Williamson.
Who is the writer of Scream, for those that don't know.
So I remember seeing this like when it came out. It was just a Peacock exclusive. And when I picked it, I couldn't remember details of it. I just remembered that I liked it at the time.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
after watching the movie.
That
Right.
track, like,
And I just remember that I enjoyed it as like a little slasher during that time.
Yeah.
When it came out, like I said, 22.
Wasn't a lot coming out.
Right. There
Yeah.
wasn't a lot coming out. It was different in a way. Yeah, I mean, it was. I just remember I was interested in it, so I thought we'd watch it. So yeah.
how'd you feel about it this time?
I mean, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a quick movie, which is
It is.
nice.
Yeah, it's very short.
It's straight into action, pretty much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's action the whole, most of the time. So that's good.
So I also apparently have watched this before, which I thought that I hadn't because my husband had tried to get me to watch it. I remembered being like, I'm not really interested. And I think it had to do with the trailer was the scene from near the end where she's going to get in the car and it is one of the killers, but that's driving the car. Spoilers, but you know that you're here. And like the lady is like, where's your mask? And I kind of thought when I saw the trailer that was like that just I would not agree with the potentially with the political leanings of this movie, and just wasn't sure if I wanted to watch it or not, because it seemed from that being the only trailer, it seemed like it was like, I don't know, poking fun at the seriousness of like, because obviously no one is that stupid. Like no one is going to, when you're being chased by a murderer, insist that you put a mask on. Hopefully.
Right.
And so that just seemed hyperbolic to me, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted to watch it. But apparently I did, because I got about halfway through and I was like, oh yeah, it's that boy's family. Like I remembered the ending. But I will say, like, it was fine. Like I liked it. It was, it was a pretty good, not blockbuster, straight to DVD kind of slasher.
Right.
Like you can definitely feel the Kevin Williamson like influence. Like people fight back super hard the whole movie. Things happen that I'm like, oh, we never see this in a horror movie, where like they get in the car and the tires are slashed, and instead of the being like, oh, we can't drive because the tires are slashed, they're like, nah, we're just gonna ride it on the rims. And I like, there's certain things that I just feel like are while not like realistic, it's like I always feel like with Scream that the characters react in a mostly believable way. They are still dumb teenagers, but what they are doing and how they are reacting is believable and feels authentic. And I think that's true here. And overall, I really, I mean, I don't know if this movie works if you didn't live through the pandemic.
Right.
Like I don't know like that this movie works, and if you didn't experience like the context of the time. I mean, I
Sure.
think people can, can enjoy things that talk about like a disaster that they weren't part of or didn't live through or like that kind of stuff. But I think like the tenseness of the opening scene in the grocery store doesn't work without like having lived through that. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was fine. Like I wouldn't put it in, I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was fine, I think. And then it was, it wasn't.
Yeah, the like all the pandemic stuff in the beginning like took me. I was like, oh yeah, we used to do that.
Yeah.
We used to, wipe down our groceries.
I
and-
still keep hand sanitizer in my car, which is something I didn't do until like 2020. And now,
Oh.
Yeah,
I've still got that in my car.
do that. Yeah.
I don't know, it's just handy. But anyway,
Yeah.
so so that was like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. It's only a few years ago, but it feels like forever ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like the movie is definitely kind of dated in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's fine. It's alright.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't hate it. Hate it.
No, I didn't hate it, and like I do agree that the characters are generally don't act too much like idiots, and like their responses to someone chasing them with a knife or whatever.
They act like children because they are children.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Right.
they're college
But-
students, but yeah.
I mean, they
children.
act like how like, okay, yeah, I buy that.
Sure.
But the movie has like nothing going for it outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no like unique hook. They don't feel like they really even play with the pandemic stuff that much outside of the opening and kind of the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if like somehow they found out the killer was chasing them had COVID? I don't know.
Right.
So, I don't know. Just like they could have. It felt like any kind of generic slasher movie that's like relatively well executed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it points because it is only like 82 minutes or
And it's
whatever.
relatively well
So, like,
executed.
Yeah, and like it didn't waste a lot of time, so
Right.
I like that. The the kind of the twist at the end that it's his family and
Mhm.
They're just
um
crazy.
And they're just crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing is like they have this reason, right? But it's not. There were 7 people at that party that were sick. They say that,
but people
and
were
it's like,
crazy around the pandemic.
Yeah,
Right.
and it could be.
So,
yeah.
I kind of buy it.
Mhm.
And like you said, like the scene from the trailer where she's like being chased by the killer and like, do you have your mask? So she could try to get in the car to escape.
Yeah.
I thought that
But
was
but it's kind of
that-
funny because that she actually uses that to chloroform her.
yeah.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was clever.
Yeah, I mean, there's little bits of cleverness,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't feel like it did enough to distinguish itself. I mean, I guess I expected a little bit more coming
Right.
from the dude that wrote Scream.
Right.
But he did.
I mean, not that
it,
not that he's
so-
like a David Mamet, but
Yeah.
like this is his like a genre that he's
Right.
well versed in. So I expected a little bit more creativity.
I think it felt like a Scream movie though. Like.
It felt like the part where Ghostface is chasing them around the house.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that for 75% of the movie. Like it was like that was just extended for like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which I think.
And it got a little like I don't know, got a little old after a while. Like you need some breaks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it was just kind of like it was okay, like it's forgettable, solid like 2.5 stars out of 5 or something. Like
Yeah.
just.
I think, I mean, watching it again and having watched it when it first came out, I do think it loses a lot because we're so far out of the pandemic at this point.
Yeah. If I had watched this in 2022,
Yeah.
I probably would have thought it was more clever than it is.
Right. And that's what I remember as I watched it. I remember thinking things were a little funnier, a little more clever back originally. And that's probably because, it was so hitting home at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2022, we're just coming out of it a little bit and, really getting our feet back. And it's just, I think at that point it is a movie that is just kind of trapped in time
Yeah.
because like you said, I mean, this isn't going to hold up the opening scene's not tense to somebody that never
If you
experienced
were
that.
not an adult
Yeah.
during the pandemic, then you probably will not, I
Right.
think, appreciate like the premise of the movie in
Right.
itself. And there were minutes where, and I also don't think you quite, there is some level of you are supposed to not fully love the heroes in like the victims in a slasher movie, right? Like they're supposed to be gray in some ways. And I think that they feel less gray this removed from the pandemic. But I remember when Joe watched it in like 2022, he was like, I hate them. Because it's like the dumb teenage thing of like, oh, there's the end of the world. We're gonna have a big party with everyone we know and get everybody like sick, which is at that time
That was the thing.
that was the thing.
Like dumb kids were doing that.
Dumb kids were doing it. Well, I mean, people have hurricane parties, right? I've talked about this before,
That's
where
true.
it's like
True.
young people feel invincible,
Yeah.
and then young people do things that eventually prove to themselves that they are not.
And I mean, those kind of things were definitely going on then.
Yeah.
COVID parties. I mean, I knew people even at my age,
Yeah.
so in
With them.
their 30s,
Mhm.
that were still doing things that I was like, eh. Then they'd be like, "Come on," and I'm like, "No, thank you."
Yes,
But I
yeah.
also, my mom, has immune system issues sometimes and stuff like that, and I wanted to be able to see them, so I didn't want to take anything.
Right. Yeah.
So I get all of that too, and like the
Mm-hmm.
friend, I forget her name.
Miri.
Miri, that's what she's so worried about is
Yeah.
she has somebody back home that she doesn't want to take it back home to.
Yeah.
So I get all that, and I think that is something. Once again, if you haven't lived through it, it's not going to hit home at all in this movie, and I do think it kind of loses it, and I think it lost it even just over the years.
I also think that
Yeah.
like it being removed, I've developed a little more empathy for like how isolating and damaging that time was, and people
Right.
Yeah.
should have isolated, and it was the correct thing to do to not
Mhm.
but everyone sitting at home by themselves for 8 months sucked. Like, it sucked not like, having to only see your friends digitally or, oh man, there was a horror movie. I think it might have been called like Zoom that also did the pandemic premise where it was very short, like an hour, and they did a seance over like a Zoom call with all of
okay.
their friends, and it like everyone ends up getting haunted and murdered.
I feel like
and all that
I
stuff.
remember previews
and
of that.
I don't remember.
I don't think I realized it was a pandemic thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is like it was like
That makes sense.
there were things to play with the pandemic, and I'm glad that we got a few horror movies out of it that did something with the idea, because it, horror movies should have something to say. I think this one could have said more.
Yeah.
But it was like even just watching at the store and how angry everyone is and how panicked everyone
Like
is.
the
and-
woman that gets the last tissue box and
Yeah.
she's just rude to him, and he's
she's-
like,
and
"You're
he like
welcome."
is just handing it to her. Like he had reached for it, and then he realized that she had a baby, and so he just hands it, and she still calls him an asshole anyway. And it's like,
People were like that.
people were like that. That was
wild.
a time that we all, lived through and experienced. And I remember going to the grocery store being stressful, not so much because I was worried about I was worried about getting sick. I have an immune condition, so I don't I don't do very well. I have a very suppressed immune system, so I was careful, and bad lungs. So, but I remember going to the store, or I remember my husband going to the store, and he would just be like, it's so stressful because there's nothing, there's not toilet paper on the shelves, there's not food, and everyone has cleared it out, and it's like it feels like, even though we were able to afford things or stuff like that, you're living through a Great Depression, a shortage or something that that there's going to come a time where there's nothing, and that was a real fear that people had at that time. It was and then
There is a little goof though in the movie, pandemic related,
oh yeah.
when they have because I think the movie, I can't remember exactly. It takes place in April 2020, and at the end, when the parents are they're gonna test kits did not come out,
Until
till
Right.
August. I think it was
Right.
August or
Yeah.
something. It was like a few months later.
That was definitely early for
I was like,
test kits.
and
Yeah.
that came with the movie. I was like, I don't think
Yeah.
so. And
They weren't
I
ready
Googled
yet.
it, and I was like, yeah, they didn't have anything April 2020.
No.
Yeah, April 2020 was go home. If you're
April
coughing,
2020
don't
was
go
like
out.
shutdown. We didn't have anything
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that time.
But yeah, I wish it had done either
And
something more satirical or something more that added to the suspense as far as the lockdown.
Mhm.
Because I think without that, it doesn't really. I mean, the only thing
Right.
you really have is like the motivation of the parents of the
Right.
Yeah.
killers, and like that's sure, but like that's not really
and it's
sustainable throughout the whole movie.
It's very misguided because like tracing was not that accurate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially not at that time. Like,
Yeah, no, you
everyone was
didn't.
sick. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and really, all you had to do to avoid that to get like a little bit of credibility was just set it 6 months later
6 months later.
or a year later or
But
something.
Yeah.
6
you
months
know.
later, I feel like the idea of having a COVID party would have been less forgivable. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I mean, the kid died at the COVID party. She still could have had the COVID party in March of
Sure.
2020,
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
know, and then in
Died
September
later, yeah.
like,
is when
they go
when they figure it out.
or they go there for the winter because the winters are going to be really bad and the COVID
Right.
numbers are going to go up. So I don't know. Like,
yeah.
there's a little thing they could have done to like make that more plausible.
Yeah.
But I guess just more on a thematic level, it doesn't play as much with the
The pandemic as a
pandemic.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like I've seen this before in a lot of other movies,
Yeah.
and it wasn't enough to like distinguish itself.
I remember watching it and it being like I hadn't seen a lot of COVID related things at the time. And like I said, everything just hit different. So I think it felt more of a full movie to me, like full of more meaningful things.
Yeah.
Back
I mean,
then.
it-
Like I said, I still liked it this time. I think it's fun. But I do see that disconnect. That I didn't feel exactly the same way as I did before. Some of the stuff just seemed
Well, that was where you were living.
timing.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
definitely
If
the
I
timing.
had seen it in 2022, I would have thought it was more clever.
Right.
than I did
And
now.
and that's the thing. I think they knew they were writing something. I mean, I think it was probably just a fun project for him or something. I think they had to have known it was not going to like hold up to the test of time because it's not a
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was probably
timed
he was probably
movie.
just locked down and was
Right.
like, well, I'm gonna write something.
right.
Yeah.
It was his way of
Gotta
getting
get a
his
paycheck.
frustration out.
Well,
Probably
then
Yeah.
and
dealing,
getting
and
money.
dealing with it. Like, I get that. But
I mean, I did like some of the kills. I like at the beginning when they, or not the very beginning. I mean, that one was good too. I mean, it was a pretty decent opening scene. You know, you follow him
in
at
the apartment, and
Yeah, and then the fight in the apartment, and then he thinks he's gone, and he actually makes it outside of the apartment. Had he just walked down the stairs, he would have lived. But you know, he gets his throat slashed. But the first murder at the actual building, the DJ guy, I think DJ was. His
oh
name.
yeah, where
Yeah.
she's like, it's like she's
Where-
walking out, and it's like
Yeah,
back
and
in
it's
his
like
feet.
it's like
Ugh.
he's got a
At first, you think
Pole.
he's walking, and then she looks at his feet, and you can tell his feet are barely dragging, touching.
yeah.
And he's like on a flagpole of some sort or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
being walked by the other guy. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that one. And then, you know, he just jabs it on through him.
And I will say the actors
Yeah.
in this were pretty good for
Yeah.
like very
Yeah, they're all right.
unknown
It was-
B-list actors. Like there's a couple moments where I guess Gideon Aiden, the girl, or that might not be that.
Parker.
That's her.
Yeah,
Parker's
yeah,
the
yeah.
character's name.
Yeah. She like there's a couple minutes where it's like I don't know. I think I'm just getting older and I'm starting to have more empathy for 20-year-olds, which is weird. But like, you know, I'm just like, oh, they're still babies in my when I was a 20-year-old, I'm like, y'all are dumb. Now I'm like, oh, like they're not. They're
fully
their
developed.
brains aren't fully developed yet.
Yeah.
And there's just a couple minutes where she's running and she's fighting and she's, you know, where like it's like when she ducks behind the log and she almost like she does this. It's a really nice piece of acting where she like almost sobs for a second and then like goes back to like being like, you know, quiet and scared. And it's like that's so believable. Like you're hurt and you're like running and you're just a kid and you don't know what to do. And it's like that was a really nice moment. Like I just feel like she had a couple really strong moments. Miri had a lot of really strong moments also.
Is
Weird.
is that is Gideon? Is she in something else? She looked so familiar.
I think she just looks like people. I've not
Yeah.
seen her in anything. I
Okay.
don't know.
I didn't actually look her up, but
I had never seen her in anything. She
Okay.
kind of looks a little bit like Mikey Madison, a little bit.
yeah.
I thought I was trying to when DJ shows up in the movie, Dylan Sprayberry. I was like, man, I've seen that guy somewhere.
She's in
And he
the new season of Euphoria. But
I haven't watched
Okay.
that.
and he was young Clark Kent in Superman Returns
Oh, really?
So, like,
and that was DJ.
20 years ago. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. So I was like, man, that looks. Yeah. So then I was like, placed him, and I like seeing Jane Addams, the mom. She was on, I think, Frasier.
Oh, okay.
It's like a guest star several times. I've seen she's been in a bunch of stuff over the years.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see her. She does a great job.
And it was a nice, like, tight, small cast too, which
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, they could have had a few more people, so the bodies could have piled up a bit. But then it isn't believable for like a pandemic movie,
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
No,
I thought they did well with that, like the body count and how what happens with the small cast, because that does become an issue. You don't have a large cast to kill off and all these bloody scenes. So I
There's
thought they
nothing
did
to
pretty
cut
well
away
with that.
to. There's no other people to be like, oh, they're partying or they're having
Right.
sex up in this room. So
Exactly.
like in a Friday the 13th, like
Yeah.
you got like 4 or 5 different groups of people, and
Yeah.
Jason's gonna hit all of them,
Yeah.
and then the final girl, like
yeah,
Right.
And you
So-
can keep the action up by like switching around. I think that's like where this one, the action starts 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, or like you have the
Yeah.
intro. You get like 20 minutes with them. And then there is a killer in the house, and
Yeah.
it just and it keeps and it goes.
which
from
felt
there.
I don't know, it felt kind of abrupt. Like I know it's trying to be streamlined, but I guess it needed a little bit more setup to like.
Mhm.
'Cause otherwise, it just kind of feels like a stranger's thing. Like, oh, they're just here
Right.
killing them, and I don't know. It felt more random, which I guess maybe the point, but I think something else to like clue the audience in that.
That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted to give away that reveal too early, and I feel like they wink, wink, nudge, nudge at it with the Tyler kill at the beginning, where they're like, only if you're COVID free or whatever,
Right.
Yeah,
and he's like, not your business, and it's like, oh well, maybe he's not.
I guess so.
And like, I feel like if they had a couple more like cutaway kills to other people from the party or something like that,
Sure.
it would have given away who they were and why they were there. And I think part of the mystery or the fun of the movie is trying to figure out
Why?
why.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I
they
guess
at
so.
least they give a reason. I mean, I like the Strangers doesn't give it. The first Strangers does not give a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
the 19 sequels.
not a fan of any of the sequels, but the first Strangers.
Literally, one of them
like-
came out on DVD, and then a few months later, another one came out on
DVD.
DVD. I was like, they're just
Pumping
multiplying.
them out.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, yes, that premise is creepy the first time. And then it's like, and then it's, yes, random acts of violence happen. But I feel like by giving it sequels, you give it too much story.
Yeah.
And it just becomes torture porn instead of like something horrific.
What it really is, yeah.
And that's what that actually gets you. But I like I said, I like this. I thought the kills were very creative. I love the effect when he falls on the antlers. I love a good antlers kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any given time that you're going to impale someone on a set of deer antlers, I think that's great.
Yeah, she used like the turkey carver just to like hit
Yeah.
him in the
Oh,
Achilles,
Achilles,
enough to
yeah.
like
Yeah.
make him stumble a little bit, and then she just shoves him over.
Yeah, shoves him over the stairs.
I mean, that's
Sprays
what I
him in the
say, like-
face, shoves him over the stairs. Like, yeah.
It was a good Achilles kill.
Yeah.
Or Achilles,
Yeah,
And
Shot.
cutting and
that's what I say. I mean, I think there was definitely some clever to it, and I felt like that's where the Kevin Williamson writing really shined.
And I will say, like, the thing I do love about him is he makes characters that fight back. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like so many horror movies, they scream and they get stabbed and they just like, but I feel like his movies, the ones he writes,
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of really great stage choreography. They've got really great stage combat where they're like,
Yeah.
you're fighting for your life. Like, hopefully.
Right, and it makes it believable.
Yeah, most people don't just, lay down.
I would hope.
and die. One would hope, but like, I mean,
be like,
maybe
"Oh."
they do.
I don't know. It depends
Go
on what
for
day
it.
they got me. I might be like, okay, thanks.
That's a little nihilistic, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it depends on the
Really depends on the morning. I don't know. I might not even throw off my cover. I might just lay there.
Like, can you just make it quick?
Yeah.
But no, like I feel like most people do everything they can,
Sure.
and so like it's.
Well, it's definitely a rush of adrenaline, I'm
It's
sure.
Yeah, it's refreshing. I like that they're smart. I like that, like, they're not just like rushing the guys for the most part unless they have to. Like the girls are very careful. To try to.
Yeah, and I liked
Yeah.
when what's her name, Miri?
Mhm.
Yeah, Miri she had fallen and broke her leg, and like she tells her to pretend to be dead,
Play dead.
and you see her take that little breath, and he notices something, so he leans in, and I thought that was played clever. Like, okay, well, she threw something to stop
Get
it,
his attention.
Yeah.
because if it would have went too long, she wouldn't have been able to hold her breath that long.
No.
Yeah, the whole
So I like that they did little things that made it just seem realistic.
Yeah, the whole cat and mouse game is pretty good, pretty well handled in the movie. I just remember watching it and feeling like
You needed something
I
else.
needed something, or I expected something more than just kind of like it just felt very generic.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
it wasn't enough to
And-
distinguish it. Like Thanksgiving
Right.
distinguishes itself
Mm-hmm.
because of the killer, and it like really plays into the tropes. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the characters are also not like too stupid.
Yeah.
But that one's a little bit more of a nostalgic kind of trip.
Right.
And I feel like the reveal is more like in that one, the whodunit thing is more fun. Like they have more fun with.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
multiple. Well, it's and the same thing with Scream. Like you have a multiple. Because you have a larger cast, there's
Right.
more opportunities for who
Jokes
is the
and
killer.
fun and,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this could have benefited, I think, from some levity here or there. There's not a lot of like funny bits,
Yeah.
which kind of felt.
Really, the only thing that I laughed at was when comes up to the car and she's like, "Do you have your mask?" I didn't watch the trailer, so that wasn't spoiled for me.
Oh
So
yeah, that was
So that was nice.
I did find it funny that in before the killings start and their DJ has shown up and they go down to the basement and they have like the music going and they're all dancing. Miri is like spraying Lysol into the air
Yeah.
as she's dancing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that is ridiculous, but I do know people that were basically like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she
Um,
is reasonably scared. Like,
right.
she's her best friend.
Well, she's
clearly,
a
right.
She's also a going to. She's
Medical
in medical
school,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
And this is her best friend who she knows is not careful, right? But she
Right.
doesn't want to be like, I don't want to see you because
Yeah.
you're my best friend and I know the way that you are. Like it's clear that they have real affection for each other, which is nice too. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I think the character development is competent. I think that there's nothing that I hated about this
Right.
movie. Could it have been better? Sure, but like, was it a nice macaroni and cheese meal? Also,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's a frozen dinner.
Yeah.
well, I kind of feel like it hits the comfort food. Like, it's
Right.
not good
Yeah.
for you. It's not elevated, but like it's something that like
It'll tide you over.
your mom
Yeah.
whipped up on a Wednesday, and like it's not
Whipped up on a Wednesday.
whipped up. You know what I mean? Like it's just a very simple. It's a simple meal, but that doesn't
Sure.
make it a bad meal.
Yeah, and like I
Um,
said, I felt that disconnect as well, and
Mhm.
like it needed a little more, and I don't remember feeling it the first way. So I do think a lot of it is that we're so far removed from the pandemic at this point, and now it's just like a nostalgia, like, oh yeah, we did used to clean our groceries.
I
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember
yeah, there
Clorox wiping
wasn't.
my grape sheets.
Right,
Yeah,
and it's
like,
just like, I think in 2022 it was still so fresh, and
It
I
was
hadn't seen it
still
done in other
happening
movies
in
that it
2022.
did seem like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were still in the pandemic
Right.
in 2022. Like people were still dying. People were
Sure.
still being careful and wearing masks. And like, it wasn't, we were mostly back to work, but we weren't like
Fully.
fully
Yeah.
out of it. Even at work, we were still, 2022, we might have still been, we definitely had the screens up here.
I was still wearing my mask.
Yeah, we're still wearing
Yeah,
our mask in
sure, yeah.
2022. Yeah, like I mean, so the pandemic wasn't over in
Right.
2022. So I think that did make it more clever. Though I appreciate that, like this is something that exists that we can look back on and be like, oh man, that was a time like
Yeah.
a horror movie that you could show someone that doesn't like, you know,
That does bring out some of the horror of it, I guess.
some of the fear of like
A little time capsule.
a little time capsule at the time, and I'm good with that. I like that.
Yeah. I'm glad neither one of you hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. I was just kind of
well,
yeah, and I just wanted more. I just needed some other kind of hook.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic was not enough, and they didn't play with it enough for me.
yeah,
Right.
To make it distinguish itself from any other random,
But I'm happy.
generally well executed slasher.
Right.
Right, but like also, how many generally well executed slashers do we really get anymore?
Right. I
Like,
mean, that's
you
true,
know,
too.
like it's. I have trouble coming up with very many that aren't like.
I'll be honest. Anymore I generally avoid horror movies, new ones,
I mean, that's
because they're usually not good.
I like the most recent one. I think is one that I can think of is one that I saw in Joe Bob, which was the clown in the cornfield. It was not horrible.
Yeah,
I
that one was
enjoyed
all right. That one. I mean, it was about on this level. Like it was competent
was
for the most
competent.
part.
I'll accept competently made. I'll
Right.
accept a good 6 out of 10
We'll just
slasher
hit
movie.
that. Let's just
Yeah.
clear that low bar. We'll be good.
Well, I'm glad you guys didn't actually hate it.
No,
I didn't
no
hate it.
hatred.
I didn't hate it.
Because when I went back and forth as to whether to pick it, because it was a Peacock original, and like I said, I just remembered really liking it at the time.
It's more like I'm like a mom that's watching their son like go out for prom,
Yeah.
and I want to say, "Oh, you look so handsome," and then, but what this movie is more like, "Are you gonna wear that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Like, are you gonna
Right.
do you not want to brush your hair before you? Okay, like you know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, you sure? Okay, go
All
for it.
right, go for
Yeah.
it. Like you still look nicer than you do on your everyday, but
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. So that's not the worst that we've ever
I
had.
would have got a haircut.
No,
By far, we've done way worse. This is pretty
done
good.
way worse.
Yeah, on multiple
Okay.
occasions.
Well, I guess that brings the discussion of Sick to a close.
Yeah.
But so next time it's going to be your pick, Josh.
Yeah. And we did Vertigo last time,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
and now we've seen Hitchcock, and now we're gonna go for Body Double, which is
That's exciting.
Brian De Palma's. I don't know. It's a difficult one to classify, but it's sort of a satire of Hollywood. It's very inspired by Hitchcock. He wears it like you'd have to be blind to not see what he's doing. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the most compulsively watchable movies I've ever seen. I could literally watch it every day and probably not get tired of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe not every day, once a week.
Sure.
And I love the aesthetic. De Palma's direction has never been better.
So no pressure, Aaron.
He's never been more scathing in his satire, which we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
And gorgeous movie to look at. Great score. I love it.
When is it from?
1984.
Okay.
So it's right after he did Scarface, which we also did.
I was going to say we've done
We've done
De
De
Palma.
Palma,
We
right?
did Scarface. We did Blowout.
Blowout.
Which you like?
That's right.
you like
Yeah.
I like to
Blowout.
blow
You like
out.
both of his movies.
You
You
like
like Scarface too.
Yeah, that's
think.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. In the
No
episode,
pressure
but
to like this one at all, and
Sure.
it's not his favorite movie of all time.
It's not my favorite. It's not favorite. It's not even like Blowout. It's probably Blowout and Carrier like
Higher up.
still like my De Palma.
Oh, he
ranking.
was Carrie as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
I
Oh,
like Gary
Carrie.
too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And so those would still be like top two, but this is probably 3, maybe 4.
Okay.
Carlito's Way might be higher. But yeah, of all of his movies, this is the one that I can watch. This is the one. So this is the movie from my favorite director that I can watch the most
Okay.
and never get tired of. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I feel like I've been wanting to pick this for like
Yeah, I
you-
think you've
three
mentioned it
or 4
multiple
years,
times.
Yeah.
however long we've been doing this podcast.
Right. You just had to build a
But we had,
foundation.
but you have to watch a Hitchcock first.
Right.
So you had to
Right.
watch Vertigo or Rear Window, at least one of those,
Sure.
to like kind of get
So that you can
what
fit the
he's
references.
playing with in this movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
That's good.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm fairly
Have you ever seen
certain.
it?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't. It would have been college, and
Okay,
so I don't
so
know.
it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
There
It's
hasn't
been 3 days for me.
there hasn't been a De Palma movie that I haven't liked either. So like
All right,
I'm
sure.
I'm down to watch it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
it'll
don't
be fun.
think. I mean, unless I get into it, and it's just something I've seen accidentally at some point in life.
I guarantee you haven't.
Mhm.
I
You
have
would
not
remember
seen it.
certain aspects.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we will watch that. We encourage you to also watch it. Do we have it here?
Yes, we have it on Blu-ray and
Okay.
DVD at the library.
Okay. So we have it at the library if you want to check it out. Give it a watch, and then join us next time for our review, our little talk about Body Double.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it. Yeah, join us next time. So until then, I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Toby.
and this has been The Real Opposites.